हेलो। शनिवार शाम के मनोरंजन में आपका स्वागत है। How's it going, you guys? 11th of April, 8 p.m. Hi. Thank you for tuning in, all of you. Whoever's tuning in, I have a very special guest for you guys today. How do I get someone to join? Unless they send me a request. Thamba, शोधतोय मी. मजेत आहे. How's Saturday evening treating you guys? Everyone doing good? Everyone doing okay? Hey Jaideep, hey Abhishek, Food 60, Rahul, Amit, Amar, Naman, Rishabh, Saifu, Mehul. So many people. Hello, Big Bang Youth Fest. By the way, you guys should totally go check out Big Bang Youth Fest. They're doing some really cool Instagram lives. Bora Daman, busy in painting. That's awesome. That's awesome. I also paint with my daughter on weekends. We do a video call and we paint together. So, I have a very special guest on today's Instagram Live, and I hope that she comes on soon at 8 o'clock. मांजरीची पिल्लं कशी आहेत? ती आता पिल्लं नाही आहे, मोठी झाली असणार आणि ती सगळी आता त्यांच्या घरी आहेत. दे आर इन मुंबई. आय एम इन बँगलोर. हॅलो मिस चिटनेस, हाउ आर यू डूइंग? What phone am I using? That's for me to know and for you to guess. Hey Arish, how are you doing? By the way, all of you should also go check out really cool movie reviews that my good friend Arish Irani does. He puts in a lot of effort. He reviews web shows, he reviews movies. तो कृपया जाके उनके Instagram पे देखिएगा, Arish Irani. Hey Neil, awesome. You had bhel for dinner? That is awesome. Hi Krishna. Wow. भेळ, वाव, मला पण भेळ खायची आहे आता. आणि कैरी होती का त्याच्यामध्ये, कच्ची कैरी? ओ, तोंडाला पाणी सुटतंय. मी हे पीयूष, हाउज इट गोइंग? यू वॉचिंग चार्लीज चॉकलेट फैक्ट्री? किसी ने पूछा नहीं लेकिन मैं बता रहा हूँ. हे नेहा इज हियर. नेहा, यू हैव टू सेंड मी द रिक्वेस्ट. कम ऑन, डू दैट. हे नील, मी हे खाल्लं, चायनीज खाल्लं आज. पनीर मंचुरियन and egg fried rice. Yeah. I'm figuring out how easy it is to be vegetarian. Hi Neha.
Hi Neha. Hi.
Okay.
I'm not vegetarian.
Okay.
Disclaimer.
Are you on? Am I on speaker because I can hear my own sound?
I can hear my own sound. No, you're not.
How is your audio coming out?
What do you mean? I just joined. That's all I've done. I've not.
No. My point is. Are you using earphones like I am?
Should I?
Do you have earphones? Is it possible to quickly get them?
Yes, I do.
Because
I will get them.
Please do.
Yes.
Please do.
Okay. I'll be back.
Yes, please.
Sorry.
Yes, that's okay. हाँ, echo इसलिए हो रहा है because नेहा के तरफ की आवाज और मेरी आवाज गूंज रही है. Give it some time. I'll just count. 10, 9, 8.
Is it better? Wait.
7, 6.
Is it better?
5, 4.
Better.
It's perfect for me.
Okay.
Yes, it's perfect for me. I'm also seeing.
Okay.
You can see the comments, right? What people are writing.
Yes, I can.
Ankit is not omnipresent, Neil. It is just that the voice was echoing. If the voice is fine, I would love it if... Hey, Pug Dandy is here. Wow. Okay, awesome.
Hi,
hey,
I know Pug Dandy. Hi, how are you?
Shaunak, right? Of course.
Yes, Shaunak.
I've spoken to him. I think I've met him once as well. I was,
In Bombay?
yes, in Mumbai. I was
Okay.
at the Natural History Museum and I attended a talk by Sejal Mehta on Mumbai's coastline and all the amazing
Yeah,
marine
marine life of
biodiversity.
Mumbai.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay, I'm going
yes.
to quickly introduce Neha Sinha, who's basically our guest of honor on today's Instagram Live. Is this the first IG Live you're doing, Neha?
I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't know it was a thing. So yes, it is my first.
I'm so
I've
glad that you're doing this and
I've
this is the
never
first.
done an Instagram story even.
Well, I mean, I think
I admit it.
मुझे आपको फोन करके दो तीन चीजें सिखानी पड़ेंगी फिर because
ठीक है,
all the
ठीक है.
amazing content that you have, I think Instagram is a great platform to put it out there. Okay, for everyone who doesn't know, Neha Sinha, and for everyone who was lazy and didn't read in my Insta story everything that Neha Sinha does, she is a wildlife conservationist. She is a columnist. She's an award winning journalist. She has special love for birds. She has special love for trees. I'm not sure if she shares the same amount of love for Homo sapiens, but she has an incredible amount of love for the wild world. And she writes in the most incredible manner. Of course, she writes for The Hindu, she writes for The Wire. When I was the editor at Tech2, we commissioned a couple of pieces, and I had the good fortune of interviewing Neha a
Thank
couple of
you.
times. And she's written a lot of stuff. Neha, anything I missed out on? Oh, and she's a
Well,
great photographer.
my first book will be out soon, but more on that later. Once it's out, you get the copy.
Blackbird calling. I just love
Yeah.
Neha's tweets too. Okay, her Instagram handle, and I'm quickly going to actually swap the camera here to show you her Instagram, her Twitter. Sorry, her Twitter.
That's Twitter, yeah.
It's Neha double A. हालांकि उनके नाम में single A है. It's Neha
Correct.
double A underscore Sinha. Because I don't think she got a handle with just a single A because Neha is like
Yeah.
the most common
Thank you
name
for
in the world
thank you
after
for
Pooja.
not saying it's numerology or some like astrologer because that's what everyone thinks. You know, it's not any of that stuff. It's
You know,
just
I just want
yeah.
to dive in here. And Neha, thanks so much for making the time. Talk to us about these gorgeous bird pictures we see on your Twitter. Where are these birds
Yeah.
from? How do you shoot them? What is going on with all these birds on your Twitter feed? It's such a cool departure from all the bad, negative stuff on Twitter, you know?
Yeah, I know. I mean, Twitter can be a very toxic space, but I have also found that people respond well to kind of the simpler life, which is basically paying attention to the world around us, which is the natural world. And you know, because of coronavirus, a lot of people are now thinking about balcony birding and stuff. Now, that thing on the screen is the Rosie Starling. It comes to India from Europe and Central Asia, and it's here in Delhi
Do you
right
just
now.
look
Yeah,
at
that's
birds and you identify them, Neha? What are you, an
yeah,
almanac of birds?
I try. There are 1,300 kinds of birds in India, 13,000 in the world, so that's probably too many. But
This
I
is
try. We
such
also
a
have,
remarkable picture.
yes, I love this picture. That's an Oriental honey buzzard, and it's come on this, just this wall in someone's house, and you can see like this bra hanging over there, right? So for 1 second, it was. It was this incredible bird coming to this very normal kind of location, which is
Delhi
just
Terrace.
someone's house. Yeah, a Delhi
So all
terrace.
these pictures
Uh,
are, or most of these pictures are from Delhi, Neha?
Most of them are from Delhi. That particular bird is the Egyptian vulture, also found in Delhi, though the photograph is from Bharatpur. Now, because of the coronavirus thing, a lot of people have been asking how to do balcony birding, and there's kind of like this renewed interest in the natural world, which is amazing. I see it as one positive outcome. Everybody wants to kind of go back to nature in some way, and I just want to say that most of these birds are from my balcony. That's a rose ring parakeet, the tota, right?
इंडिया
So the
में
tota
पैरेट
is
नहीं
from
होता
my
ना
balcony.
पैराकीट होता है इंडिया में
Ha, exactly. This is a parakeet, and I found it. It comes to my terrace on that neem tree, and it's been the only good thing in this lockdown. For a wildlife person to be locked down, it's like the most claustrophobic feeling
I
ever,
can
right? Because
imagine.
we need to be out in the outdoors all the time. But the birds have been such a solace. And a lot of people are interested now. Over from across the world, people tweet to me saying, tell us about balcony birding. Tell us about how to see birds. All you need to do is get up early in the morning
So
and a good pair of binoculars.
it's a legit thing, balcony birding. And like you said, a lot of
Yeah.
people are turning to it because वो अपने घर में एक
Yes.
किस्म से कैद है. And
Yes. Absolutely. Huh.
one of the most amazing things in the initial days of the 21-day lockdown was, and of course now we are at the fag end of the first 21-day lockdown. कई reports आ रहे हैं
Yes.
कि शायद और extend हो सकता है depending on where you are in the country. तो one
Yeah.
of the first things people noted and said on social media, Neha, is सुबह सुबह पंछियों की आवाज उन्हें सुनाई दे रही है क्योंकि गाड़ियों के हॉकिंग की या स्कूल बस की या ठेले वालों की या जनरल जो ह्यूमन लाइफ की जो आवाजें होती हैं, ये आवाजें ओवरवेलम नहीं कर रही हैं, तो पंछियों की आवाजें सुनाई दे रही है. What do you have to say to that? How people are rediscovering the natural wild world all around them thanks to the 21-day
Yeah.
lockdown, which of course is
Yeah.
a precautionary measure so that coronavirus curve flattens. What do you have to say to that?
I feel very validated because I've been saying for the last couple of years, please listen to the birds around you, because I keep saying we share our city with incredible birds that come from Europe, from Africa, from Asia, Central Asia. And I went to Kyrgyzstan and I found the same birds there when they come to Delhi, right? Now, the birds have always been there, but we couldn't hear them because plane जा रहा है, आवाजें आ रही हैं, लोग चिल्ला रहे हैं, लड़ाई कर रहे हैं, या हॉर्न्स की आवाजें. So अब सब शांत हो गया, तो we can hear the real sounds. And we are lucky because our cities have a lot of birds, so you don't need to go to some faraway jungle. आप बॉम्बे में हो या बैंगलोर में हो, आप वहाँ पे birds देख सकते हो. And if you wake up early in the morning and just pay attention, you can hear so much. And right now it's like Vasant Ritu. It's springtime, right? So lots of birds are singing because it's courting season. They're all trying to impress the girls, and they're all singing songs, and they have their best feathers out there. So it's a really nice time to tune in. Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, when you say early morning, when would you like people to wake up and maybe just look out the
It de-
window or their balconies?
It depends which city you're in, but if you are more towards West India, then it's all right to wake up at 6:30 or 7 even. If you're more towards East of India, then I would say 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6.
Earlier,
But
because daybreak happens earlier.
Yes, basically you should be up before the sun is really high in the sky. So the golden hour is a wonderful time. The golden hour is the hour at sunrise and sunset, where the light is really diffused and golden and lovely. Everything looks wonderful. So before the sun goes really high in the sky, so before 8 o'clock, I would say, for Delhi or Bangalore. So even if you wake up at 7, which is not really early, I think it's fine.
It
You can
isn't. You're
see
right.
the birds are active. Yeah.
That's
And the
amazing.
thing is that a lot of people think, a lot of people comment that do you do this all day long? Do you like just sit there and watch birds? I'm like, no, I have a full-time job. I just wake up early, and I think it's really nice to just, it's a little bit more effort, but to take out 30 minutes to do something you like, if you wake up to do something you like, rather than something that needs to be done, such as going to work. We all need to go to आप वहाँ पे birds देख सकते हो.
With.
And if you wake up early in the morning and just pay attention, the birds देख सकते हो. And if you wake up early in the morning and just pay attention, you can hear so much. And right now it's like Vasant Ritu. It's springtime, right? So lots of birds are singing because it's courting season. They're all trying to impress the girls, and they're all singing songs, and they have their best feathers out there. So it's a really nice time to tune in. Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, when you say early morning, when would you like people to wake up and maybe just look out the
It de-
window or their balconies?
It depends which city you're in, but if you are more towards West India, then it's all right to wake up at 6:30 or 7 even. If you're more towards East of India, then I would say 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6.
Earlier,
But
because daybreak happens earlier.
Yes, basically, you should be up before the sun is really high in the sky. So the golden hour is a wonderful time. The golden hour is the hour at sunrise and sunset, where the light is really diffused and golden and lovely. Everything looks wonderful. So before the sun goes really high in the sky, so before 8 o'clock, I would say, for Delhi or Bangalore. So even if you wake up at 7, which is not really early, I think it's fine.
It
You can
isn't. You're
see
right.
the birds are active. Yeah.
That's
And the
amazing.
thing is that a lot of people think, a lot of people comment that do you do this all day long? Do you like just sit there and watch birds? I'm like, no, I have a full-time job. I just wake up early, and I think it's really nice to just it's a little bit more effort, but to take out 30 minutes to do something you like. If you wake up to do something you like, rather than something that needs to be done, such as going to work. We all need to go to work. We all need to do the other chores in the house. But if you spend the first 30 minutes of your day doing something you like, whether it's bird watching or yoga or whatever, then your day is kind of seems a little bit more to your liking.
That is so
You got
amazing.
out of bed, to do something you choose, right? So it's a little, I think it helps with mental health as well. And, I'm seriously, if this lockdown did not have bird song, I would be really sad. I think we're looking
Wow.
at a mental health pandemic actually, because I think everyone is feeling a little sad, because of climate change we're going to have more viruses or more novel kind of diseases, which could even be bacteria, not just viruses. So we all need to take care of each other, and doing something you like every day in the morning is one way, I think, of getting there.
That's
It's one way
fantastic.
of self-care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, there are obviously a lot of questions coming in because I showed your
Sure.
picture. So Joy Clicks Photo is asking, what lens do you use, Neha? And I'm sure so many people must have asked you कि आपकी photo इतनी अच्छी आती है क्योंकि oh my god, camera इतना अच्छा होगा. 50 FPS Naresh is also asking the same. So what do you have to say in response to what do you shoot with?
I shoot with a bridge camera called Nikon P900. This is literally the only gadget that I know the name of. Okay, so don't ask me my phone because I don't know. But it's a bridge camera, so I think it's a good camera for anyone to start with. It's not a DSLR. So it's somewhere between a point and shoot and a DSLR. And my bio says Nikon P900, so that I want other people to use. I think it's a great camera. It's got 83x zoom, so it's
Yeah,
good for birds, and it's good for landscapes as well. And I just want to say equipment is not important. You could have a really terrible camera. What is important is learning how to spot the bird, because it's not so easy to spot them initially. So you need to learn to see them and observe them. I get a lot of photographers getting very upset because they couldn't get a picture, and it's okay. When you start out, it's okay if you don't get a wonderful photograph. It's okay if, nobody likes the photos that you put up, because a bit of time, it's a little difficult. The subject is always moving. And let's not start with a really expensive camera. Let's start with a camera that's kind of like
of
not that
course.
expensive, and focus on observing the animal and learning something, and then moving on towards photography. I
Absolutely.
don't consider myself a photographer. I consider myself like somebody who's kind of like stealing these natural history moments. I just feel like I'm stealing that moment and making it a frame. So I feel there are much better photographers out there who are much more serious about their work. And for me, it's like I feel like a thief. I'm like a thief. I'm like a thief that's kind of bringing those little
Stealing time
moments.
and that moment.
Stealing time, yes, and
But I mean,
memories, yeah.
frankly, photography started as a form of chronicling real, real life, everyday activities and
Absolutely.
moments. So, of course, it's
Yes.
escalated to this incredible art form, as it rightly should be.
Yeah.
But there are all
Yeah.
different kinds of photography, right? There's fine art photography,
Yeah.
and frankly, the kind of photography you do is very much within the realm of photography. You are very much a good
Thank
photographer.
you.
So please don't say that you are not a photographer. You don't consider yourself, because one look at your Twitter feed, and these are some absolutely beautiful compositions. These are beautiful compositions. Of
I
course, you're
think it's the
capturing the
birds that are
birds.
so beautiful, right? I mean,
Neha,
if you
Neha,
see
I
a
definitely
bird,
think you should give yourself a little more credit than that. Come on.
no, but if you see a bird from really close, they're really pretty. Like even the
I
birds
can
that
imagine.
look ugly, like are really gorgeous if you
Yeah.
look close.
Even the
I
humble crow
also,
or pigeon or sparrow,
yeah,
they are gorgeous.
absolutely. I mean, the pigeon has this beautiful iridescent neck. So iridescence is the shining quality in which the color kind of changes depending on where the sun is falling. So I love that.
I saw
And
this
I
picture
think,
of a yellow feet pigeon on your Twitter, and I was
yeah,
like, yellow
it's the
feet
state
pigeon?
bird of Maharashtra.
Wait,
It's your
what?
state bird of, yeah. It's called Harial in Hindi, and it's actually quite a common city bird. It's just a little inactive. It's just a little inactive during the day. It sits very quietly. So if you wake up in the morning, you can easily see them in Bangalore as well. So they're
Wow.
green in color with yellow feet, and they're gorgeous. And they have a
Somebody here,
beautiful call.
oh, lovely. Blackbird calling is saying we have this Chinese tallow tree opposite my house in Mumbai. We can see
Okay,
coppersmith, barbets, quail, and
that's my
orioles feasting
favorite
on its
bird of all
berries.
time.
The
Yes,
coppersmith barbet. Okay, hold on. Tell me what
it's
is
my
so good
favorite
about
bird.
it, and I'm going to try and look for it on your Twitter feed. Why do
It's
you like
there
the
yesterday.
coppersmith barbet
Because
so
it's really
much?
active. It's very active. Oh, it's there in
This.
today's picture. There it is.
So
Yeah,
this is the
that
yellow
one.
feet pigeon we were
Yellow,
just talk
yeah.
about, and this is the coppersmith
Yellow-footed
barbet.
green
Oh my
pigeon is a
God, what a
state bird
gorgeous
of
little bird!
Maharashtra. So I love the coppersmith barbet because it's wearing this red bow tie, as you can see. It's got a red bow tie, a red cap, and it's just gorgeous to look at, and it's very active. It's always doing something or the other. And it makes this tuk 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 call in summer. So even on the hottest of days, it calls. It keeps calling throughout the day. And I just find that incredible because it's so hot, everything is silent, and this bird is calling. I find that it's got a true spirit of the city in that sense. It's common in Delhi and in Bombay. And I had actually posted a video of there it is. There it is. I'd actually posted a video of the coppersmith barbet calling, and I got like at least 100 messages from people saying, I've been listening to the sound my whole life. I didn't know what it was. And I'm so happy
Wow.
to see that this is the source of the sound because, it's their childhood sound. And
Let's
also
talk
it
about.
adapts very well.
Sure.
This is
Thank you
the
for that. Let's talk about the
palash
palash flowers
flower.
and talk about
Yeah.
Vasant Ritu and what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, so Vasant Ritu is we are going into summer now from spring, and a lot of Indian trees flower at this time of the year, including this beautiful flower, also known as the flame of the forest, because it looks like flames, right? The flowers look like flames, and all the leaves fall from the tree, and it's just the flowers that are there, and it actually looks like the tree is on fire. And in central India, it's a native Indian species. Central India has these gorgeous, forests full of the palash flower, and it's a very good plant for the birds to come. So they feed a lot on this. There's your harial again. It's making a nest because this is nesting season. It's broken that branch so that it can make a nest.
My God, Neha, your Twitter feed is next level. Whoa. Oh, that's a
This
mena.
guy is a Brahmini
Is
Mena. He's
that
making a
paper in its
nest.
beak?
It's cigarette paper in its beak, and it's making a nest in my balcony with that cigarette paper.
Oh
So,
God. Oh God.
yeah, that's a black kite,
Oh my
and
God.
these are very common in cities, what we call cheel in Hindi, and they hunt and they scavenge. They're really interesting birds. When my mother was in college, her sandwich got snatched by a black kite. So that's the
Are you
black kite story in
serious?
our family.
Sandwich
Yes.
got snatched.
Yes, I wish such amazing things would happen to me, but they haven't happened yet.
Rufus
That's
tree
a
pie.
rufous tree pie, also common in cities. It's related to the crow. It's quite a big bird. If you go to Ranthambore or Bharatpur, this bird will come to your hand to feed because it's quite a bold
Wow.
bird. So
Wow.
at the canteen, it's always hanging around. That's a portrait of it.
Oh
Now
my
again,
God.
this
That's a
is
great
morning
shot, Neha.
light.
Come on.
This is morning light, Ankit, what I was telling you about the golden hour. That's really the best time to shoot wildlife. And really recommend people should wake up and make use of the golden hour
Of
right
course.
before the sun goes very high in the sky. That's a
Okay.
sunset. So these people were flying kites on their There were some
Balconies.
people there flying kites because that's what people are doing.
Wait, do you
That's a
paint?
painting. Yes, I do.
You
I do
painted this
paint.
Coppersmith Barbie?
Yes, I
Dude, that
did.
is wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that is absolutely amazing. Whoa, this one was slightly graphic.
That's Yeah, that's a kestrel eating a mouse. So they're doing a great pest control service for all of us because our fields would be overrun with mice if it weren't for owls and these birds of prey that eat them. And I was just trying to say that we eat avocados and kestrels eat mice. It's fine. All's good.
Okay, we've got a
Let's not
nice.
hate on them. Yeah.
No, not at all. Come on. We've got a nice question here by Solo Traveler who asks, can you recommend a
Okay.
book slash website where we can learn or know more about Indian birds, their habitat, and
Yeah.
information?
So there's a website called eBird where you can, learn a lot about birds. There's also the Internet of Birds. It's an app. So if you
Wow.
have a picture of a photograph, you have a photograph of a bird, you upload it and it kind of identifies it for you and gives you a couple of lines in it. And then there are field guides, which are kind of serious books with lots of photographs. So one can buy any kind of field guide. There are lots of field guides available. You can just go on Amazon and type Guide to Birds in India,
Sure.
or you can download the apps.
So
So
one of
you
the
have,
books that I bought close to a decade ago, I remember when I was doing Pinch and Bandhavgarh, and I did a whole bunch of these,
yeah,
forests and tiger reserves. Of course, the
yeah,
father of Indian ornithology is Salim Ali Saab. And
yes, yes,
Salim Ali is I mean, his books are considered encyclopedia and textbook on
yeah,
ornithology. So there's
yeah.
literally a book called, very self-explanatory, The Book of Indian Birds. And
Yes, it's a great book.
I was just checking when it was published, 1979, before I was even born.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
continues to be one of the best books on Indian bird species, right?
Yeah, I recommend Salim Ali's book because, it's not very updated in the sense we've had more species since then. But Salim Ali has this really beautiful love for birds that just shines through. So, for anybody who doesn't know about birds, even Indira Gandhi wrote a couple of books on birds that are
Oh,
really
wow.
readable, very interesting. And they're writing from the perspective of actually loving their subject. It's always nice to read an author who's passionate. So
Let's
yeah,
talk
Book
about
of Indian Birds is great.
let's talk about your book that's coming up, that and you're fully utilizing the 21-day lockdown to sit down and pen your first
Yeah.
book. You want to share some beats about it?
Yeah, so it's called Wild and Willful, and it's about 10 iconic Indian species. It's telling the story of those species. So the monkey that lives in the cities with us, the Indian cobra, the Amur falcon, which comes to Nagaland, the tiger, the elephant, the leopard, the Gangetic dolphin, which is this incredible animal that's found in Ganga. It can't see, it echolocates like bats. And, these are species that India identifies itself with. And I just felt that, we needed to tell their stories and the Great Indian Bustard. And I'm also, exploring a bit about some remarkable people who live with these animals, like actually live with
Wow.
them, like somebody who lives with wild elephants coming to his tea estate, or lives in a tiger reserve in a village, or just shares his life with such animals. It'll be out by the end of the year. We are a little delayed because of coronavirus, but it'll be out this year. So
Does
you'll
Jadav Payeng feature in the book?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
I hope it's the first of many books. I've
Awesome.
met
Of
Jadhav
course it
Payeng,
is.
and I think it's sometimes it's just great to just do stuff instead of like talking about it, and he's one of those.
I can
And
imagine.
when he started planting his forest, nobody kind of supported him. Like he
Correct.
was seen as this slightly crazy person.
Correct.
One wonderful thing about the internet is you meet communities of people who are as geeky as you are. So like I don't mean you. I mean you and me. I mean all of us, right?
But
So you
that's
have your
exactly
tech
how, but
community.
that, no, 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 but that's
Yes.
exactly how we met, Neha. Remember, I literally
Yes.
wrote to you on Twitter and a
Yes.
couple of times because
Yes.
I understand that, you would tread with caution, especially on Twitter, given the kind of people
Yes.
out there. I wrote you a couple of
Yes.
times, seeking your time so
And
we
I
could meet.
didn't respond.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I said, I fully
Yeah.
get that. And united by that geekdom of love
Yeah.
for nature and the wild. And
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
I, was our first video the one on the trees that were going to get felled in Delhi?
Yes, the trees that we're getting.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
that was we were waiting to do that video and things like that, and that's how we got
Yeah,
talking, right? So I'm fully
yeah,
with you about this geek community. You were saying, go ahead.
yeah. So I was just saying that it's wonderful. I think, people blame the internet for a lot of things, but I think the internet is a revolution because you meet these hyper specific communities of people who hyper specifically like what you do. So you can meet people who like,
Coppersmith
birds of
Barbers.
Bombay. Yeah, or birds or marine life of Bombay. So much of it is this community of people doing things for free and amplified by social media, amplified by this volunteer spirit that also comes, right? Because
Absolutely.
we can find volunteers, we can find soldiers for the cause online. So I think it's great. Instagram is a very peaceful place. So a lot of people who follow me actually just follow me. I mean, it's far more peaceful than Twitter, I guess.
Oh yeah, Twitter is just
But
full of angry people, I feel, in general.
I think Twitter is more news, which is nice also sometimes. But generally on Instagram, the community of wildlife lovers,
Okay, the
they
wildlife
genuinely
community.
love wildlife. Yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Tell me some of the more personal stuff. How's the lockdown been for you, for your family? I know you said it's extremely difficult for someone who's used to
Yeah,
being in the field. Vasant Ritu, this is the time where seasons changing. Where, if
yeah.
everything was normal, where would you find yourself? Which jungles? Which animals? Where would you be?
I had so much field work lined up, none of which happened. I would have been in Pench in
Okay.
Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh doing some research, but that didn't happen. I was supposed to go to Nagaland to work on my Moor Falcon project. That didn't happen.
Oh.
So the thing is that also it was the NRC protests, so some travel was restricted in some areas. But it's been really difficult, and I really mean it when I say nature has been really a source of comfort and solace, because in some way the natural world keeps going on, right? Despite all the things that are happening, birds are still nesting, they're still singing, they're still doing their little dramas every day, right? So like the parakeets, this is their courting season, so the male parakeet is singing all the time, or the sunbird is singing all the time. So it's really interesting to see that earth will always go on, like things will always go forward. Having said that, this is the time of the year I look forward to the most, because I am a Delhi girl. I was born in Delhi, and the trees begin to flower at this time. So I wait for this time. They flower once a year. So the laburnum will flower soon in summer, the yellow flowers. And anyway, so it's been really difficult. But thank God I have a balcony. And thank God the birds seem to like me because they keep coming. So like I said, I really honestly feel that we need to work on our mental health more going forward. I think life has changed forever for all of us in all seriousness. And this is going to be the post-corona world that we live in, right? So in one way, we are all very united in the way that we're all in this together, right? So what's happening in the US and Italy is happening in India. So we're all this is like all of humanity in Egypt now. I think everybody feels that. And if more diseases are to come or more impacts to do, so you can meet people who like,
Coppersmith
birds of
Barbers.
Bombay. Yeah, or birds or marine life of Bombay. So much of it is this community of people doing things for free and amplified by social media, amplified by this volunteer spirit that also comes, right? Because
Absolutely.
we can find volunteers, we can find soldiers for the cause online. So I think it's great. Instagram is a very peaceful place. So a lot of people who follow me actually just follow me. I mean, it's far more peaceful than Twitter, I guess.
Oh yeah, Twitter is just
But
full of angry people, I feel, in general.
I think Twitter is more news, which is nice also sometimes. But generally on Instagram, the community of wildlife lovers,
Okay, the
they
wildlife
genuinely
community.
love wildlife. Yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Tell me some of the more personal stuff. How's the lockdown been for you, for your family? I know you said it's extremely difficult for someone who's used to
Yeah,
being in the field. Vasant Ritu, this is the time where seasons changing. Where, if
yeah.
everything was normal, where would you find yourself? Which jungles? Which animals? Where would you be?
I had so much field work lined up, none of which happened. I would have been in Pench in
Okay.
Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh doing some research, but that didn't happen. I was supposed to go to Nagaland to work on my Moor Falcon project. That didn't happen.
Oh.
So the thing is that also it was the NRC protests, so some travel was restricted in some areas. But it's been really difficult, and I really mean it when I say nature has been really a source of comfort and solace, because in some way the natural world keeps going on, right? Despite all the things that are happening, birds are still nesting, they're still singing, they're still doing their little dramas every day, right? So like the parakeets, this is their courting season, so the male parakeet is singing all the time, or the sunbird is singing all the time. So it's really interesting to see that earth will always go on, like things will always go forward. Having said that, this is the time of the year I look forward to the most, because I am a Delhi girl. I was born in Delhi, and the trees begin to flower at this time. So I wait for this time. They flower once a year. So the laburnum will flower soon in summer, the yellow flowers. And anyway, so it's been really difficult. But thank God I have a balcony. And thank God the birds seem to like me because they keep coming. So like I said, I really honestly feel that we need to work on our mental health more going forward. I think life has changed forever for all of us in all seriousness. And this is going to be the post-corona world that we live in, right? So in one way, we're all very united in the way that we're all in this together, right? So what's happening in the US and Italy is happening in India. So this is like all of humanity in one ship now. I think everybody feels that. And if more diseases are to come, or more impacts of climate change are to come, then we need to be kind of united in being a little bit more humane towards each other as well. And we need to take care of our anxiety, because the first few days in lockdown, I was so anxious.
Oh, yeah.
Because I felt claustrophobic. I wanted to go out, and we all did, right? For me, I need to go out every day. I need to go to a park or see the trees or whatever every day. It's like I need to see the sky. I
It's
feel
your oxygen. Yeah.
You're Sagittarian too. You understand what I'm saying, right?
I'm fully
This
with
thing
you.
of being outdoors, this thing of being outside is a very big thing. And obviously all our field work got cancelled, but we need to take care of ourselves going forward and do a little bit more of the self-care thing. Do a little bit more of things that take us outside ourselves. So whether it's painting or whatever, like bird watching, or just baking for some people, not for me, but for others. I'm not a cook like you are, but just saying that we all need to do that one thing every day that makes us happy.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Blackbird calling and saying, I'm a Sagittarian too. Saggies rock.
Cool.
Since we're all 15-year-olds reading Linda Goodman books. Absolutely.
I never read Linda Goodman, but I knew that this is a Sagittarian quality. And I haven't met a single Sagittarian who doesn't like the outdoors.
Oh, yeah?
I think they all love nature. It's
wow.
It's a Sagittarian thing.
Nice. I guess we're born wild and, like willful. Just like your book is.
Wild and willful.
Wild
yes.
and willful. I think that's pretty much the bio for most Saggies. Nitya saying, great session. Please let her know. Anandita is asking, would like some suggestions for balcony birding. Anandita, what exactly are you talking about? Because Neha's literally, if you can watch this Instagram live session later, Neha's literally started this whole IG live starting, with the whole balcony birding thingy. Neha, I have a couple of questions for you. One, how do you, are you going back and looking at all your pictures? I'm sure you've shot like hundreds and thousands of pictures over the course of, everything that's happened. And are you using this lockdown period to actually index them, sort them, and things like that? Is that something that you're doing? Because I'm finding myself go to my Google Photos from the last couple of years, and I'm making albums, and, I've got like tens of thousands of my daughter's pictures. And, you just get busy, because after the vacation, you get supremely occupied, right? Because there's so much of backlog. So what are the couple of things you're doing to keep yourself, like you rightly said, mindfully engaged?
Yeah, I'm making folders is a great idea at this time. So cleaning out the closet in every way, cleaning out the closet in terms of your clothes, your shoes, your photographs. And I highly recommend making folders for pictures with dates and specific things, because you also want to, if you're interested in wildlife photography, dates are important. In the name of the photograph, I tend to put the date because I want to see how things have changed. So if I'm taking a picture of a tree, then it's flowering at a particular time of the year, and what was it doing 1 year ago? What are the climate patterns? Because sometimes they don't flower at exactly the same times. Yes, I'm making a lot of folders. I take about 150 pictures every day. So I do this every day. I
Wow.
do this every day. Yeah, making folders. And other than that, I've been trying to catch up on my reading, like the rest of the world, I
What are
guess.
you
And
reading?
3 or 4 books at the same time, but I'm reading Satyajit Ray, who's an all-time favorite. He's a comfort read for me. Then there's a writer called Robert Macfarlane who writes on nature. I really love his work. His latest book is called Underland. It's about life underground. I highly recommend it for anybody who may be interested. Then I read a lot of science fiction, Kurt Vonnegut and uh, Ray Bradbury. I go back to them because in some way I feel science fiction thinks about the future.
And yeah,
And
they
by the
thought of
way,
solutions and predicted things which
they've thought
normal,
of
rational
solutions. Yeah,
thinkers wouldn't tread going
yeah,
because it seems too outlandish.
yeah. And I definitely recommend Sapiens and Homo Deus, which by
Yuval
Yuval
Noah Harari.
Noah
Yeah.
Harari. It's very good. And also he has a bunch of recommendations and predictions for the earth as well, so that's interesting. I think when I was growing up, all the comics and all the movies showed year 2020 as the apocalypse, so I hope that doesn't happen. And
That laughter did
my
not
big
sound like a
hope
devil
is,
at all. Yeah. That was perfect timing. There was a the world's going to
no,
shit.
I mean, no, I really hope that we come out of this with a little bit more appreciation for each other, for our families, and for nature. Because we need to make something good out of this horrible situation. If we just come out of it worse, and it would just be such a tragedy. I think
This
most people are saying that they feel closer to their family, they're playing board games, they're talking to their grandparents, spending time away from screens, and kind of like just doing things with their hands, just making stuff, whatever. So I think observing nature is a very nice form of meditation because you have to be calm and patient and centered. You can't be like throwing a tantrum when the birds come there, right? You can't be like making any noise. You can't be like, come here now, I want to take a picture. You have to be quiet. You have to be like a tree, like very quiet, very centered and calm. And it's a
you,
great, I think it's a very nice way to calm your mind
you
also.
can't be like, तू जानता है मेरा बाप
Yeah.
कौन है मेरे को सही एंगल दे मेरे को सही फोटो चाहिए.
It's a
Like you
form of
can't
meditation,
you
right?
can't throw your weight around. No, that's beautifully put. It's a form of
No.
meditation. My second question to you is, and we've
Yeah.
seen these beautiful photos and videos, beautiful from one perspective, from another perspective, maybe challenging or struggling. We've seen videos of Nilgai and leopards coming into houses in Chandigarh. Wow, is Neha there? Or she got stuck? Is she stuck? Can you guys hear me? Or am I stuck? What's going on? I guess she must have gotten a call. C'est possible? Super Sank 23, I've read your question. I will ask Neha as soon as she's. Yep, Mary Kondo Zindabad. Neil Gaiman. Oh wow, Krishna, your pun is coming out. Yes, I feel you. Absolutely. I haven't read anything by Neil Gaiman though. Should put it on the list. What do you guys think? Are you guys getting in touch with your surroundings more, your environment, nature? Neha's back on. Hello, 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 hello. Hey, Super Sank. Neha's joining back in. I'm guessing she must have gotten a call.
Hi. Can
Call
you
आ
see
गया था ना?
me? नहीं, कॉल नहीं आया था. Wi-Fi.
Oh, अच्छा अच्छा.
Some gadget issue. Wi-Fi.
Oh,
Wi-Fi.
oh, अच्छा अच्छा.
Some gadget issue. Yeah.
कोई बात.
And coronavirus is based on Wi-Fi.
Oh, अच्छा अच्छा.
Some gadget issue. Yeah.
कोई बात.
Your department.
उफ वो यार. मैं मतलब कोई वो हूँ क्या? इलेक्ट्रिशियन हूँ क्या?
हाँ.
This is what my mom does. घर पे पंखा नहीं चल रहा है. अरे तू तो बड़ा टेक गुरु बनता है, पंखा नहीं चल रहा है. I'm like, mom, इलेक्ट्रिशियन नहीं है मैं. She's like, घर पे जो लैंडलाइन है, लैंडलाइन नहीं चल रही है. मिक्सर खराब हो गया है. I'm like, seriously, मैकेनिक, इलेक्ट्रिशियन मैं नहीं हूँ. Like those are incredible skills and I have mad respect for it. But मुझ में ऐसी कोई स्किल नहीं है. मैं बस बात करता हूँ. That's all I do.
Honestly, I'm in the same boat because people post pictures of some small bug from Costa Rica and they go like, which animal, which insect is this? Then they'll, post a picture of a bird from Philippines, which bird is it? And I'm like, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know every animal on earth. They're like millions of them, literally.
I can imagine. Okay, my question that I was asking you before it got dropped off is, we are seeing videos of nilgai and leopards in Chandigarh. लोगों के घरों में, backyards में आ रहे हैं. This friend Isha Chitner, she was speaking to the people who live inside RA forest, and they are like animals in Borivali National Park and RA forest, which is thousands of acres of forest area and has so much of biodiversity and wildlife. Everyone's coming out. The animals are having a field day.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're seeing these incredible reports of animals having a field day everywhere. But it all goes back to square one when the humans are let out again. What do you make of this situation? And is there some learning for us from that?
Absolutely. I think my answer is not going to be for the animals, but for what we can do. So yes, the animals are coming out more because there are less of us. But the river Yamuna is cleaner. The air is better. Like the AQI in Delhi is amazing. It's not in 3 digits or 4 digits. For example, your app can't go beyond 999, and Delhi's AQI is often beyond that in 1,000, like in 4 digits. But right now the AQI has been like 85, 70, because there aren't so many cars on the road, and it's just like a clear indication that we need to be working from home or setting up systems that are different from what we've been doing so far. So I think, if we want to actually do something, that's good. You should make a decision that you work from home for 2 days of the week or 3 days of the week and give everybody a break. Give the transport system a break, give the earth a break, the air a break. And the fact that the industries aren't running means the rivers are cleaner. So it just shows us that our imprint on the earth is just so destructive. So, if we stay at home or if we work more remote offices, I think that would be one really big contribution that's positive. And I think the lockdown shows that it's possible, right? So for whoever says that this is not possible, I just feel that people will not work if they don't want to anyway.
Of course.
I feel slackers will always be slackers. So
absolutely. चाहे वो ऑफिस में हो या फिर घर से काम कर रहे हैं. बिल्कुल.
Yeah. So I would say let's all try working from home. I think companies should adopt this policy, even government offices. I think it's great that we're generally going more green even in our government dealings. So a lot of things are e-challans or whatever, like we're moving away from paper and kind of bureaucracy. I think it's great. And so the river being cleaner, the air being cleaner, the animals coming out, it's kind of like a comma, it's like a breather and a break for all the kind of bad things we've been doing. And we don't want to go back to this. I think we should have a couple of learnings at least.
I'm going to ask a question which may not have enough evidence or data right now to make a judgment call, but just want to hear your opinion and view on this anyway. World over, we've heard from climate change activists like Greta Thunberg and so many others across the world that we are literally sprinting towards climatic catastrophe because of our relentless cycle of production and consumption, right? Non-stop.
Yeah.
Do you think this completely involuntary sort of pause or comma that the world at large has put on production and consumption for a few weeks to close to a month, and some of the biggest and most populous places in the world, China, India, and some of the other big countries. Do you think this will, over a period of years or decades maybe, does this sort of reduce the pace of the climate catastrophe we are all pacing towards?
There's actually a lot of evidence for this already. The WWF does the State of the World report, and it already shows us that we're consuming 1.5 planets, as in we are consuming far more than the planet can give. And the exactly that what you said, the greed, the kind of like just taking and not giving anything back. So we don't have so much. The planet doesn't have enough resources for us to all go to work, all have 3 cars, not take public transport, or just rip up all the forests for coal all the time, or do deep sea trawling in the oceans and destroy all the coral reefs, etc. So basically, the scientific reports say that because of the changes we've made, which has caused climate change, we're going to have new diseases coming because permafrost is also thawing, and there are the virus in
That is so scary.
in the permafrost are going to be exposed to the air. And also what happened with Nipah virus and coronavirus is basically wild animals have viruses in their bodies, which they're just carriers of. And if you create a novel interface and you stress the animal out, it drops the virus through its saliva or its feces into the atmosphere, and that's how it comes to us. So to answer your question, we're already consuming far more than we have the potential. In the sense, we only have one planet, right? So I'll just give you a very small example. There are lots of exfoliating face washes. They all have microbeads that are made out of plastic. So you wouldn't think that, right? You pick up the face wash, and everybody picks up the face wash to exfoliate their skin. It's made of microbeads, and that goes in the stomach of the fish in the water, in the ocean. That's eaten by a bird. It goes in the bird's stomach, and it creates this whole chain of toxicity, which we cannot wash your face, and it causes all of this stuff. So we need to stop and to think about what we're consuming. And I think, it's the job of companies to sell us stuff. It's our job to say, I don't need this in my life.
Right.
Use walnut.
Absolutely.
Use orange peels or whatever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. India is actually full of these incredible alternatives, right? I mean, it's just that we have aped the West, and we have completely disregarded all our conventional wisdom. I mean, maybe our parents still stick to it, I mean, be it everything that they use for their personal health and wellness. But anyway, I digress. I hear you. That's a great point. And I think this lockdown across the world, I think, is a great reminder to the world and a wake-up call to everyone who says, oh, wait a second, economy over personal health or well-being, right? Not everyone's like, I am sorry, but the economy can take a walk right now. Let's just first stay alive. So, I get it. That's going to be economic repercussions for years to come. And, I don't want to sound irresponsible. We are extremely privileged to even talk about it and not be the person standing in the queue waiting for one square meal a day. I understand that, we are extremely lucky. But I think those who have access to things are going to have to make way bigger sacrifices so that those who don't have even the most basic things at least get access to that, right? And I think the lockdown's been a reminder for that.
I agree with you. We need more facilities, of common facilities that are good for everyone. So we need hospitals where we can all go, or we need places of recreation which everybody can access. We need more places which greater number of people can use, rather than just cutting up everything and having it just for a few people, right? Because the earth doesn't have that. There's no place left on earth which doesn't have our imprint, and it's not a good imprint. It's not a positive imprint.
I hear you. Okay.
Full of garbage, actually. Yeah.
Full of garbage, you're right. It's a planet of garbage. Let's hear this. If you can help out, Super Sang 23 Neha is asking, what's your advice for someone who wants to start a career in conservation? What are some IIT level institutes in India?
There's the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. Then there's the Wildlife Institute of India in Dehradun. Then there's also NCBS, the National Center for Biological Sciences, which offers a master's in wildlife. I studied my master's abroad, but people can study their master's in India in these 3 places mostly. Also, a lot of colleges and universities do offer masters in wildlife science or allied sciences such as zoology, botany, agricultural science, etc. And one way to do it is to study the degree and then get into the field. But then you can also get into the field in a different way. You could be a sociologist because that's required. You could be a communication specialist like Ankit because that's required as well. So conservation is it's coming together of all these things. It's not just the science, it's also the culture. It's also understanding behavioral science. It's also understanding what it is that a policymaker will listen to. So it's all of these things. The idea is you can hone your talent or kind of figure out which field of conservation you want to make an impact in. It's a very big field. So there's genetic science, or there's taxonomy in which you're naming species. Then there's conservation policy, which I work in which I work on law and policy for conservation. Then there's field conservation, which is kind of being in the field and doing research or maybe working with the community, where a sociology background is useful. So it's a very broad spectrum. But these degrees, these institutes are a good place to start.
Fantastic. Yeah. Another question from Anancha 1003. Do you think we need a completely different economic system? Maybe something like ecological socialism? Wow, interesting question. Neha?
What's the question, sorry?
Do you think we need a completely different economic system? Because capitalism is crumbling and it is making the planet crumble. So something like ecological socialism, maybe?
I think capitalism sucks big time. Capitalism is, I think it's just like words. It's just like a bunch of people who want profit. We can't see,
such few make money.
Yeah, so even if you talk to your mom, you can't just be thinking about profit, right? You can't, everything is not instrumental. Everything is not materialistic. We cannot live in a society where everything is valued in terms of money, and that's basically the capitalist model in which everything is for sale. So, entrepreneurship, and I really believe in off-grid or small-scale economies. I definitely believe in having a lot of startups and a lot of entrepreneurs. And I definitely also believe in having a centralized system or a government-backed healthcare and education system, which is more a socialist goal. I think coronavirus shows us, as somebody said on Twitter the other day, we have nuclear weapons, but we don't have enough hospitals, right? Wow. So even in Italy, people have died because there weren't hospital beds, there weren't ventilators and ICUs, not enough numbers, right? So where are our priorities? So yes, it's good to some extent to have the capitalist enterprise of starting something or, working for profit, but that cannot be the only thing. We definitely need things that are not driven just for profit. Should education be just for profit? I am a student of Delhi University for my undergraduate, and I benefited from state sponsoring education. I benefited from the state having made this wonderful campus in which I could go to other colleges and learn from them. So I definitely feel a socialist, a mixed economy which has some elements of capitalism, some elements of guarding the economy also is good, which is not what capitalism says. So I would always push a homegrown app over another one because I want Indian scientists to do well or Indian entrepreneurs to do well. I buy a lot of Indian clothes from Indian weavers because I could buy Walmart, but whatever, I just feel that, I want the money to go to
the local artisan. Yeah.
I want my money to go to somebody who's a person rather than a corporation. So I think we need both. And as I said before, we need more common spaces that are really great. So I want really great sports stadiums where everybody can come. I want really great bird watching areas where everybody can come, because we can't have something privately owned for everyone. We don't have enough land. So what we do need are more centers of learning, which are more egalitarian, and more centers of recreation and enjoyment, which are more egalitarian. India Gate and Gateway of India, great examples. Like, they weren't even meant to be that, right? But they just became that. Everybody goes there from all kinds of backgrounds.
I just want to take comments from this one individual who's vigorously commenting here, and I'm sorry, but this is my Instagram live, and this kind of blind propaganda which flies on Twitter, there's no place for it on Instagram. Anup Kandalkar is saying, be Indian, buy Indian. Sir, कौन से dream में रह रहे हैं आप? Which dream world are you living in? In today's hyper globalized universe, you cannot harbor something like this, because each and every single raw material, you have no idea what the origin of that is from anywhere and all parts of the world. So I get it. Largely, I am all for supporting local businesses and local communities, but this hyper nationalistic fervor which guides such decisions and such discourse, I think is super destructive and does not help anybody. You are not an island living in a silo. In today's world, especially, we've seen we all depend on each other, right? We are learning our coronavirus outbreak containment on the basis of what China has done. We are trying to not make the mistakes that other countries have done, right? We are getting masks and PPE equipment from all over the world, right? I'm sorry if I'm coming down hard on this person's comment, but I see this bullshit everywhere. Be Indian, buy Indian. The phone that you are looking on has ingredients and raw materials from over 123 countries. What Indian, buy Indian? What are we talking about here? Neha, do you also get worked up with these comments like this?
Yeah, it's increasing a lot, this kind of propaganda. And the point is, we can't be so mean about it. No, we can't be like India is the best at the expense of other countries. It doesn't work like that. So you don't become better. You can have pride in your country. It's great. I'm very proud to be Indian. That's why I'm here. I could have been anywhere, right? You could have been anywhere, but we are here.
Absolutely.
We are proud of our country, and it's wonderful to be proud and to do something for your country as well. But that it's not at the expense of other countries. So I'm not going to be like, this person from the other country is not, is he inferior to me in some way, or even the products. See, every place has its culture. Let's just understand that. So the Danish people have their culture. They have this beautiful Danish pastries, right? They may not like our sweets, right? Or we may not, we can't say we have a hegemony over culture, because I hear this thing about Indian culture. Indian culture is so great. Indian culture is great. I agree. But that doesn't mean other cultures are not. So the more you travel, I recommend to everybody who says this kind of stuff, please go to other places also. Even if you go out of your own city, you'll find that people live differently every 50 kilometers. There's no one morality. So there's no one, it can't just be one thing superior that everyone follows. Yeah, one superior culture where everything is just Indian. Then allopathic medicine is also not Indian. So coronavirus, then we should just have, some of the other things suggested by certain people who are not named here.
Okay, I'll take Isha's question next, but Vishnu's asking, actually both are kind of connected. Vishnu's asking, Madam, do you feel there's a need to procure land to establish wildlife corridors, just like land is confiscated for developmental project? That's question one. And the question two, there may be some connection. Isha Chitnis is asking, I'd like to know your view on the many hotels and resorts in the buffer zones of national parks. Are they regulated? Do they need to be? We've heard of destructive events in these areas. I mean, what's the line between love for wildlife / destruction of wildlife?
Okay, I'll take the second question first. The point of going to the forest is to go to the forest, not to bring the city to the forest, but to keep the forest as it is. And I agree that a lot of resorts and all these places try to bring the city to the forest. So they'll have a DJ party. I love DJ parties, by the way. I grew up dancing at DJ parties.
Your husband's a musician, yes.
Yes, he is. And we met because of his music. So, the thing is, context is everything, right? So we cannot have a DJ party in the forest. We cannot have loud music, which really destroys the peace and really destroys, breeding habits, or kind of like animals run away from loud music, simply put. So we are not going to take the city to the forest. All resorts that are there, they're not there to grab land. They're there to enhance the experience of being in a forest. Therefore, they need to be regulated to make sure that they have that ethos in mind, right? So it's like if I have a beach resort, then I want to highlight the beach. I should be highlighting the beach and not, trying to build a huge concrete superstructure over there. Similarly, if I'm making something in the forest, it should be an unobtrusive structure. It should not block the corridors of animals.
Does that happen, Neha? Does that happen in a country like
Yeah,
India where regulations and
I
regulators
think,
are elastic and flexible?
yeah. I think what has happened is in some places there's been over exploitation, such as Corbett, in which you have too many resorts, you can't even get to the main gate without. And then there were some court orders and there was some, regulations passed. I think we all need to be watchdogs, and a lot of it works in a kind of coordinated way. So if people say I'm not going to go there, for example, the consumer over here is really important, because the tourist spends a lot of money going to a place. It's not just the plane tickets, it's also staying there. It's also about getting there from the airport or the railway station, as the case may be. It's very expensive. So I think there has been a little bit of a revolution recently. A lot of the resorts are really great. A lot of the consumers know that they're going there to enjoy the forest, and they don't want to go there to have this huge hotel or this huge structure which is completely out of place with that context. And I think the best thing we can do is to be conscious about that. And I think it's happening slowly. I think there are ethics of ecotourism that are being used. To answer the other question, getting land for conservation is a great idea. The only thing is, land ownership is really complex in India, right? So Ankit, your brother works on tribal issues. So for example, by the way, I thought he was you when he
Of course.
contacted me, because obviously you guys are twins, right? I was like, wait a second, I know this guy. That's not his name. Anyway, so land ownership is complex. In an ideal world, yes, I would want land to be bought for corridors for wild animals, and I would like local people to be partners in that, because local people who have grown up in many contexts know the land very well, and they should be benefiting from conservation. We cannot have conservation if they're
Without.
not benefiting, right? Because it cannot be at anyone's cost. So therefore the answer is very complicated. It's very site specific. Some people don't want to be conservationists. No, some people want the city to come everywhere. That's another thing.
Instagram is really weird. I think it just stops the IG live after an hour. Instagram's weird rule of stopping an IG live after an hour. Man, I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation. TBR me, काय म्हणतात? I really hope you guys are enjoying this conversation with Neha Sinha. I mean, we are touching upon a whole host of subjects here. Some of them may feel slightly heavy and serious, but the objective is purely to talk about the natural world. And Neha and her full-time job is, of course, logging natural world, and I'm a huge wildlife and natural world enthusiast. So, yeah, waiting for Neha to join.
Hi.
That
It
was
wasn't
so
it, it
bizarre.
wasn't me. It wasn't me.
No, no, I know.
I
That's
didn't do
Instagram.
anything.
No, that's
Instagram,
Instagram.
right. Okay.
Apparently,
I
there's
was
a 1 hour deadline for Instagram lives, just so you know when you start doing
Oh,
these.
I'm probably never going to do them, but thanks for having me.
So you were saying,
I like to stay away from gadgets generally. I was saying that it would be amazing to buy land for animal corridors. My dream would be to have more land for the purpose of conservation. That would be my dream, because I don't see any other way, when the tsunami comes, it's the mangroves that save us, Really,
you're
this is the truth.
absolutely right.
There was a cyclone in 99 in Odisha. A lot of people died. After that, they planted a lot of mangroves. When cyclones come again, and they have come, they've been much better off because of the mangrove. We just can't do what nature does, basically.
Of
Right?
course not. We can't even.
You know,
Okay.
in China, all the bees have died in many places, in many provinces. So they
boy.
actually hand pollinate the
Hand
flowers.
pollinate. Yeah, I heard about
There's
that.
a
It's
woman
crazy.
employed with a brush. She dips it in the pollen and she puts it in the flower. So that, we
That's
can't do this,
crazy.
no? It's not
That's
possible.
crazy. Isha Chitnis, you should write to Neha separately, because you have a lot of questions. I just want to see if anybody else is asking anything, but she actually works with Adivasi Lives Matter, Neha, for context. So
Okay.
she works with Ankush. So her question is, do you think Adivasis and tribals living in the forest should have some role to play in deciding how this wildlife tourism happens and unfolds? Did you get the
Oh,
question?
absolutely. I got the question, and absolutely, there's no two ways about it. And a lot of the traditional knowledge, some of it is in my book actually, because I spent a lot of time with the Gonds of Madhya Pradesh. Their traditional knowledge is incredible. They know much more than we do. It's just the language is different, that's all. We know Latin names and they know their own Gondi names. Yes, they must benefit, they must be involved. And I think a lot of forest departments are doing it as well. Like the reason I was in touch with them is because the forest department had called me to train the forest department, and many of the guides were Gondis. And a lot of forest departments are basically employing these people or training them, training local tribal people to be guides to take tourists into the forest. That's the way it should be. Because they have knowledge in their language, they have knowledge in Hindi or Marathi or the other dominant language. And then they learn the Latin names, the English names. So they have like triple weapon, it's like a triple whammy. It's great.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Fun question. Super Sank 23 is asking, Neha, any adventurous stories from your work? He is asking, like off-roading or camping or some man versus wild situation.
Woman versus wild, yes.
Correct. Placeholder. Woman versus wild. But do you have any amazing, memorable, adventurous stories you'd like to share with the audiences?
Yeah, the thing is that you encounter a lot of big animals in the forest, but they chase you. So I've been chased by rhinos and buffaloes and elephants and tigers. And I'm alive by their grace because they actually don't want to harm us. So the very first one was so memorable because I was on an elephant back in Corbett National Park, and the elephant suddenly started shivering. She was just like shivering. Her whole body was going like an earthquake, and I felt I was going to fall off.
So for context, for people who maybe don't know, when you go to Jim Corbett or any of these other national parks and tiger reserves, you can sit atop an elephant, which is maintained by the forest officials, the staff.
Yeah.
And you sit on that with the mahout, and you go for tiger sightings, or you go to you go to access parts of the forest which you can't obviously walk in a tiger reserve or a national park, and your gypsy safaris or jeeps can't go there as well. Continue, Neha.
Yeah. So I was on this elephant, and suddenly it was a she elephant because usually they are female. Females are easier to keep, right? Males are a bit harder to keep. So it was a female, and she suddenly started shivering, and I had no idea. And animals know, they have a sixth sense, and they also have a very good intuition. Their senses are better than us. They pick up pheromones really well. So it knew that something was coming, and two tigers came out of the bush in front of us. And they were sub-adult tigers, meaning they were not adults yet, meaning they're extremely temperamental teenagers, basically. So they were really upset to see an elephant because tigers don't actually like elephants that much. And they started growling and roaring and snapping. And so the two tigers in front of me, the elephant is shivering and shaking. And then one of the tigers, he reared, meaning he had his front... his four legs in the air, and all his claws were out. So, they can retract their claws, and they basically have their claws inside when they're walking, but when they want to attack, their claws come out, like Wolverine, right? So this guy is standing there. A tiger roar or even a tiger snarl is a thing to behold. It's like, it's true that the trees shake. They say that shade daharta hai to ped hilte hain. It's true, okay?
Wow.
All this jungle wisdom is true. So I was just like, I had a camera and I couldn't take any pictures because I was so scared. And I thought if the tiger attacks,
the elephant,
I may die.
Which never happens, right? Tigers don't attack an elephant.
So now the thing is that sub-adult tigers are still learning about the world, and they are actually quite dangerous in the sense you may not be able to predict what the teenager is thinking.
Right.
It's a teenager. It hasn't learned the ways of the world. And I was like, if the tiger, attacks my elephant, I could die. But then I thought I would probably die because I'll fall off this elephant because she was shivering and shaking. And there are times when elephants get really scared and they run away. And elephants can run really, really fast. They can gallop like horses if they want. Sometimes elephants get very scared of tigers. And this was two tigers. So I was just like, the world had stopped. Time had stopped for me. And I was just like, maybe I'm going to die today. And then the mother came out of the bush, and it was really funny because she didn't even look at us. And tigresses have this way of just being really above it all, so she was very above it all. She didn't even look at us, and she made this kind of meowing sound to her two cubs, two male children, and they just turned around and they followed their mother. They just turned around mid-air because one of them was half in the air, no? Like he was rearing up. He just turned around and he's just like, sorry, mama. And they just walked off. And I was like, this woman has saved my life.
Did you find out what the name of the tigress was?
Oh no, she didn't have a name, but
Oh my God.
she's a commonly seen tigress in that place, and basically she's like, what are you doing? Why are you bothering? These people are not worth your time. So she's just
Of course,
they learn from her. Yeah, they learn from
that's
her.
how cats
And and tigers are not really going to attack you. You know, they're actually really. Jim Corbett called the tiger the large-hearted gentleman, and he was right because Jim Corbett is a famous writer in the colonial times. He was also a hunter of man-eaters, and his books are also great to read. I can recommend his books for anybody who wants to read about tigers and other animals. He would always say tigers are large-hearted gentlemen because they don't attack you, they don't do anything. If you follow some basic protocols, which is do not go too close to any wild animal, do not make sudden sounds. You know, when you're walking in the forest, try to be in a group. If you do all of this, you're going to be fine. Otherwise, we'd all be dead many times over.
I think I heard your German Shepherd probably scratch him. Is that right?
He's here. Yeah. You want to see him?
What's his name?
His name is Gypsy.
Gypsy.
After the Gypsy. Gypsy, come. Come here, sweetie. Come. He doesn't want to come, but I'll call him anyway. Come here. Come here.
Gypsy is this amazing German Shepherd. I mean, I've only seen him in pictures.
There he is.
Oh my God. Hello, Gypsy. Oh my God.
Isn't he lovely?
He is so amazing. So cute.
I know. Let me just turn. There he is.
How old is he? Oh my God. Look at that.
He's 3 years old.
Oh my God.
And he's been such a, source of happiness and love during this horrible time.
Oh my God.
I was really upset because I heard that dogs can get coronavirus. So.
But not really. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, I think it's the Hong Kong strain only.
Oh.
There are many strains of coronavirus in the world, so he takes care of me. He looks after me.
Of course, look at him. He's so adorable. Oh my God. How old is Gypsy now?
3 years. 3 and a half.
What a good boy. Look at him sit like that. What a good boy. Oh my God. Okay, another question from Miss Chitness.
Yeah.
What's been the most elusive animal that you've spotted? Animal or bird, actually. I'll add to that.
The leopard is pretty elusive. Like, there are many leopards. For the number of leopards we do have, we maybe have around 15,000 leopards in India. It's really elusive. You'll only see it if it wants to be seen, basically. There's no way you can go looking for a leopard.
You've seen a leopard in Pinch?
I've seen a leopard in Pinch. I've seen a leopard in Dehradun, actually, inside a campus. I saw it. I've seen them in Sariska Tiger Reserve. I did my master's research in Sariska Tiger Reserve. But tigers are easy to see, leopards are really hard. I really enjoy seeing leopards because it feels really special. It's like the animal trusts you and comes out because usually they're very secretive. But there are lots of birds, other endangered, like there's a great Indian bustard. I saw it inside a missile testing range of the Indian Army in Pokhran in Rajasthan.
What were you doing?
So I'd gone there to convince the army to not to keep an eye out for the birds and to tell them it's like the most endangered bird in India almost. There's only about 100 left in the world, most of which are in India. There are a few in Pakistan, and that's it. It's a big bird. It lives in the desert.
So is it hunted? How and why is it endangered?
Yeah, it's hunted in Pakistan, and in India it gets electrocuted on wires, and basically it likes grasslands. It's a grassland species, and there aren't enough grasslands left now. A lot of habitat loss. So we don't want a bird that's named after India to go extinct. That would be such a tragedy, right? So we, along with my organization, BNHS, we had gone to try to convince them. We wanted to count the number of birds that were inside and tell them about it. And they were like, nahi hai ye, nahi hai yahan pe, kya bol rahe ho? Itni badi chidiya. It's like a size of a small dog almost, like about, I guess, 18 kilos maybe. It's like a really heavy bird, and they didn't believe us, and I said, we'll just go and take a look. And I saw 9 great Indian bustards, which is like 9% of the global population, because there are about 100 left. So yeah, so it was really nice to see that. I hope it doesn't go extinct in our lifetimes.
Oh wow. Are you doing any work to log them to
Yeah, many organizations are working, and Wildlife Institute of India started breeding them in captivity as well.
Oh.
Just in case they go totally extinct in the wild, we need to have some genetic material and some genetic stock.
Okay.
The plan though is that they should be released in the wild, because we don't want them to be in cages. What's the point?
Of course.
So we are working, many organizations are working together to kind of take wires underground, to do more, to map the hotspots, to make sure there are no wires, because they die on wires all the time, because it's such a big bird. So like flamingos get electrocuted as well. The larger the bird is, the more it has a chance of getting electrocuted.
Ouch.
Because birds sit on wires, but if it's a big bird, it connects to wires and gets electrocuted.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
boy. Okay. Suyog is saying 25-30 बिबट्या आहेत बघायचं असेल तर आमच्याकडे या जुन्नर मानिक डोर
Marathi
नाही आहेत.
nahi hai. Yeah,
He's saying
sorry.
if you want to see leopards, come to Zunnar in Maharashtra. There are about 25-30 leopards over there. Search on Google. Suyog is saying. Wow.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Sanjay Gandhi National Park has leopards.
Yes, absolutely. In our backyard. My daughter and my favorite place to go.
I know, I saw your photographs, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it's been an absolutely amazing chat, Neha. And
Thank you.
I'm so jealous of you because I'm sure your left hand is on Gypsy right now. And
my right hand is on Gypsy right now. That is true.
Right. Yeah. So, thank you for taking out the time. Thank you for addressing all the questions. Thank you for speaking about balcony birding. It is such an amazing thing to do. And,
so are you going to be a balcony birder, Ankit, from tomorrow?
Well, I mean, not the balcony per se, but I do get out for 6:30 in the morning. I get out for a morning walk. And I'm always like, oh, abhi kaun morning wake up call de raha hai? Oh, who's this one?
Yeah. Great,
so, yeah,
great.
I love it.
So you've started already?
Yeah. Bilkul. So, where would you be most responsive if people would like to reach out to you, learn more about what you're doing and things like that?
Either Twitter or Instagram is fine. My DMs are not open, but they can just leave comments and I will certainly respond. I always respond in comments, yeah.
And it is Neha Sinha with a double A in both places?
Because Neha with single A was taken for no other reasons other than that. There's no like Panditji involved here. So.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for
you can just see Gypsy for the last time. Oh, sorry. Can you see him?
Oh God, yes. Oh my God. Listen, next time I'm in Delhi, I want to come and meet Gypsy and I want to play with him.
Yes, please. Yes, you must come.
He's adorable. Oh my God.
As I say, he takes care of me rather than me taking care of him.
Of course. Okay, you guys have a fantastic weekend, Neha. Thanks so much for joining. And
thanks for my first Instagram live, Ankit. This is my first.
So happy for it.
It's been great.
Yay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Bye.
How do I log out of this? You have to tell me.
You just have to hit the X button.
Oh, right. It's as simple as that. Okay.
As simple as that.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.